All right, we finally finished the OCW method. Now we're moving into the 10-round ladder test method. Like in the OCW, we're going to be using all of the same components, same lot numbers, charge weights, everything will remain the same. The only difference is the load development process itself. So hopefully that gives us a bit of an easier time seeing if one method is better than the other, or if we can take parts from one and the other and kind of make a hybrid test out of it to give us the easiest, fastest, and best way to create a load that is accurate. Our components again are H4350, Hornady 140 grain match for our bullets, CCI 200 primers, Alpha Munitions OCD large rifle primers for our brass, and the cartridge overall length will remain 2.829, which is 20 thousandths off the lands, until the next video when we do the seating depth test, which is what we did in the OCW method. With the 10-round ladder test, the basis of the test is looking for a node, and a node is simply a velocity flat spot between two or more charge weights. And what a node does is allow your load to shoot well regardless of changing variables like humidity, weather, temperature, small variances in your charge weights, things like that. Say you have a load that shoots lights out but is extremely sensitive to those variables, the chances of being able to recreate the exact loading process, humidity, temperature, all those things, all those variances is very unlikely, and repeating that load is pretty non-existent in my opinion. Now for the test, what we're going to do is find the velocities for the 10 charge weights. In our case, it's just 8, but that won't affect the test in any way. We're just going to have a smaller sample size. And I went ahead and did that off camera so that we can move things along, since we're not using a target cam and we're not shooting for groups. We're simply just finding the velocities to our charge weights. So from the velocities, it looks like our two smallest velocity differences are between 38.2 and 38.5, and that was a 4 foot per second difference, and 40 and 40.3, and that was a 7 foot per second difference. Now for what charge weights to use, we simply find the charge weight that's in the middle of those two charge weights, so that those variables like weather, humidity, things like that can affect us the least, since it will give us a bit of cushion on either side. The first node, which is between 38.2 and 38.5, I went ahead and split the difference to 38.4 grains. And since my scale doesn't allow me to go smaller than 1/10 of a grain, we could choose 38.4 or 38.3, but I just went with 38.4. And then for our second node, between 40 and 40.3, we could have gone with 0.1. I went with 40.2 grains. Let's go ahead and hit the range and see which one of our nodes we will be shooting in the seating depth test in the next video. Okay, now that we have our two nodes, we're gonna go ahead and shoot them. I have loaded up 7 rounds for each node, 38.4 grains and 40.2 grains. So we're gonna start off with our lowest node, which is the 38.4 grains. So let's go ahead and get started.
2,648, 2,653, 2,659, 2,654, 2,670, 2,663, 2,678.
All right, next up is the second node, which is 40.2 grains.
2,783, 2,781, 2,785, 2,807, 2,794, 2,784. 2,778.
All right, that's it. Let's go ahead and head in and see what we're gonna plug in to the seating depth test for the next video. All right, back from the range. So it looks like our higher node at 40.2 grains was the better of the two nodes at 0.437 inches. That's what we're gonna be using in the next video to shoot a seating depth test. That's all I got for you today, guys. Thanks for tuning in and stopping by the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.